Are we live? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Just trying to make sure that it works. Let me. Okay, so let me just do that. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, okay. Perfect. Okay. What's up, people? Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 here, and welcome to another open chat. I was planning to do one this evening, but I decided to do a morning one. This way, people from the other side of the globe could see it as well. So, think I'll give this about a few minutes and see if anybody comes in. Just letting you all know that this is this is from Jitsi. So, and Jitsi is a very nice chatting platform. So, if you want to check it out, feel free to do so. Okay. Let's see here. Let me just check my settings here. Make sure everything was working. Yep. Okay, what I'm going to do, people, is I am going to put the link in the description here. See if anybody wants to if anybody wants to come in, click the link. Okay. 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 All right. The link's in the description, just letting everybody know. Anybody wants to come in, feel free to do so. Okay. 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 I'll give it about a few minutes because I do have a main topic in mind. Not seeing anybody as of yet. So. Alright. Let's see. Hold on just a minute, people. Okay, sorry about that, people. I'm back. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I apologize for that. Still trying to get over this cold. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, while I'm waiting, people, I think we'll get into the main topic here. Let me clear my throat for just a minute. Okay, I did have a main topic for today's live stream. I just didn't know what it was going to be ahead of time. And basically, the main topic that I have in mind for today is basically Linux gaming. Hold on just a minute, people. Sorry about that, people. The dog was acting up. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. Okay. Now, as I was saying, I did have a main topic for this. I just didn't know what it was going to be ahead of time, but I figured it out. Today's main topic will be Linux gaming. Now, gaming in Linux, it has had a long, treacherous road that has spanned pretty much over the last 10 years. I mean, well, actually more than 10 years. I mean, it's been about maybe 15, 20 years in the making, because it all started many moons ago with the Loki installers, which were special installers that you could use to install a particular game on Linux back in the very old days. Um, Games pretty much like the Unreal series specifically, and maybe a few others. Um, but I will say one little thing. The Loki installers would be the first implementation of Linux gaming. The second implementation of Linux gaming would be games that would be ported over to Linux, or would have by either a client or maybe natively. there were like very little, from what I know, very little native Linux games back in Linux's heyday. But once Steam came along, the doors to Linux gaming blew wide open. Linux gaming just shot off like a rocket. And pretty much up to today, thanks to Steam, thanks to GOG, thanks to Humble Bundle, a whole bunch of games are being supported by Steam and all these other companies, whether they're making native Linux ports or they're supporting it through like means of Proton or Wine. So the question being here, has Linux gaming gotten any better? In my opinion, yes. Sorry about that. Linux gaming has gotten a lot better. It's gotten more stable. Is it perfect yet? No. There's a lot more games out there that need to be supported by Linux. And I think, in my opinion, the only way it is ever going to get done is if we spread the word to all these companies that there is an alternative besides Windows. It's called Linux. It's just that simple. Hello, Bob. Welcome. If you wanna join into the chat, the link is right there in the live chat. Hey, hold on just a minute. Okay, people, I apologize for that. Okay, so basically, to pretty much end the main topic here on these words, Linux gaming has made vast improvements over the last year or so. I mean, thanks to Steam, GOG, Proton, Wine, and everything. I mean, Linux gaming has gotten so much better. But the only way it's going to reach the full potential that it needs to be is if the word is spread that there's an alternative besides Windows. There's an alternative besides Mac. So that's pretty much my comments on the main topic. I mean, if you want to rewind to the beginning of the main topic, feel free to. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. That's my thoughts on Linux gaming. But other than that, oh, that's okay, Bob. That's okay. It's no problem at all. What Linux system do you use on a daily basis? Okay. Had to go my throat. Sorry, people. I'm trying to get over this cold that I have. Luckily, I have medication I can take for it. Oh, one little update I want to get out of the way is the Gen 2 live stream schedule has changed. It's going to be instead on July 28th, 9 a.m. The reason for the change is because Surge informed me that something came up, and I would have to push the live stream one day ahead. So the 28th, 9 a.m., I will be doing a live Gen 2 installation through a virtual machine with Surge. So keep a lookout for that. Oh. Ooh, MX Linux 18.3 and Debian 10. Nice. You got good taste. Good taste. The current Linux system I'm using right now is Peppermint 10. Peppermint 10 is a lightweight Linux distribution. Very, very, very minimal on hardware resources. This thing is just snappity snap. And it's stable too. I have no problems with this. Not at all. Okay, let me just see if I can find some Linux gaming news. Just so I could do some, just so I could put in a news article here or two. So let me just look this up. Linux gaming news. Oh, here we go. This'll do it. Excuse me. Okay, it looks like there is a bit of gaming news. Um, Basically, the only little Linux gaming news that has been out so far is just various updates to the Unreal Engine and DXVK, which is nice. I wasn't expecting very much. Oh, that's nice, Bob. That's really nice. External hard drives are always good. Okay, here we go. Here's another site, linuxgamingnews.org. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got a few game releases. We got a Fantasy Strike is now available on Linux, which is nice. Looks like a really nice game. It's a type of Street Fighter like game, which is really nice. Okay. Other than that, let's see what other Linux gaming news sites are there. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's a few other ones. Amberlight, which is a new dungeon crawler that's coming. That's got Linux support, and it's also available for Steam. The Bard's Tale. That's another game. Ooh, Streets of Rogue. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. All right. Other than that, there's really nothing else, people. All right. So what I can at least let's see. Okay. Might as well check into some Linux news. See what's going on in the world of Linux and tech. Oh, one of my favorite sites, too. Linux Insider. Ah, nice. There's the article about Debian 10. I may cover that in the future Linux report. Mageia 7 pushes Linux desktop boundaries. Not bad. Okay. Next generation Raspberry Pi 4 packs Power Plus potential. Ooh, not bad. Not bad at all. Nice. Firefox users warned to patch critical flaw. Oh, I gotta read this. Firefox users should update their browsers immediately to fix a critical zero-day vulnerability. Anyone using Firefox on Windows, Mac, or Linux is at risk. Mozilla issued a patch Tuesday, but the vulnerability was discovered by Samuel of Google Project Zero on April 15th. Mozilla's fix comes after Coinbase reported exploitation of the vulnerability for targeted spear phishing attacks. Oh dear. That is not good. Not good at all. Not good. Okay, Bob. That's fine. Okay. In Zach we trust. Facebook to launch. Oh, I already knew about the cryptocurrency. Everybody knows what the cryptocurrency that they're making a cryptocurrency. That's what I meant to say. Everybody knows they're making a cryptocurrency. I don't want to go into the details of that. NSA admits improper collection of phone data second time around. Oh man. Looks like people, this just turned into a Linux report right now. Might as well read this. The NSA, the American Civil Liberties Union, on Wednesday released documents showing the United States National Security Agency improperly collecting Americans' call and text logs in November 2017 and in February and October 2018. The unauthorized collections occurred just 4 months after the agency announced it was deleting more than 620 million call detail records acquired since 2015 under Title V of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. The NSA relied on the improperly collected information from February 2018 violation to seek approval from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court to spy on individuals, the ACLU said. The NSA later informed the court of the error. The ACLU noted, but there's no indication whether anyone was spied on unlawfully as a result, or whether the agency notified people improperly spied upon as required. The NSA in October, the NSA again discovered it had obtained private information about Americans' phone calls in violation of Section 215 of the Patriot Act. The agency stopped receiving data from the carrier involved, but resumed accepting data after the carrier indicated it had resolved the problem, according to the ACLU. The ACLU obtained the redacted documents by filing a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit against the Office of the Director of the National Intelligence in December. The 2015 USA Freedom Act, adopted in 2015 after Edward Snowden disclosed the NSA's surveillance activities, restricts the government's phone records program, noted Andrew Crocker, senior staff attorney at the Electronic Frontier Foundation. We've learned that the NSA has been entirely unsuccessful in working with these limits, leading to the continued collection of hundreds of millions of phone records, including many it was not entitled to under the law, which he told Tech News World. And as you can all see right here, you guys can, if you guys are going to watch the live stream later on, you can pause this and read this. Pause and read this as well. I don't really need to go into any more information. And this part too. Excuse me. So basically, that's pretty much what the NSA does. Even with all these things in place, people, they are still collecting data. I need to get a drink. Okay, that's better. So basically, it doesn't surprise me that they're doing this. I mean, I've always had this feeling in my gut that they've done this. And like I've been saying in general, when it comes to data collection in general of any kind, we need regulation in this country, and we need laws in this country that not only gives us the option to say no, you can't have my data, but also prevents the company itself from getting your data without your consent. That's the type of laws we need in this country. We need to have those types of things in place, and also another thing that needs to happen is phones need to be phones, in my opinion. They don't need to have all these little applications and stuff, which you know, for a luxury purpose, that's fine. But the thing is, for my phone specifically, I use my phone mainly as a phone. Mainly as a phone. If I need to do anything else with it, I will, but I don't necessarily, because my phone is used as a phone. I don't use it for anything else, period. If I need to talk to somebody, I'll use my computer. It's simple as that. What I'm saying is phones should be phones. They shouldn't have all this software in it. I think this is what I think should happen too. When you get your phone, you should have the option of saying, do I want all this software on my phone, or can I install my own software on it? That's what needs to happen. You should have options. You should have choices. And that's what most of these phone carriers don't get. We need options and we need choices. Because, say, for example, I bought a new phone today, brand spanking new, and they gave me a choice of putting my own applications on it. I will put my own. I would put mainly FOSS software on my phone. That's how I would use my phone any day of the week. So that's what I would do, to be honest. So I think what we're gonna do, people, is I think around 12 o'clock, we're gonna wrap this thing up. For those that have come in, I thank you for coming. If you want to see more live streams just like this, then smash that like button and support my channel. Thank you. Also, one thing I want to do is I want to give a couple shout outs here. First shout out will go to Ben Fitzpatrick. Bro, you are an awesome YouTuber. You make great content. Don't stop what you're doing, dude. You make good stuff. Check out his channel, people. He does good content. Also, the second shout out the second one is pretty much a 2-in-1. The first part of the shout out goes to Turtle West today. Thank you, man, for hosting that wonderful music concert last night. Which goes into the second shout out to Stephanie Forian. Check out her music. She's a wonderful singer. Great voice. She's got the voice of an angel. So support her in any way that you can. Thank you. And also a final shout out. Goes to Steve's very own. Thank you, man, for doing what you do. You make good content. You're trying, just like with Total West today. You're trying to bring the Linux community together. So, Steve's very own, thank you very much. Oh, Dan, I did not even see you coming here.
Sneak attack.
How you doing?
How am I doing? Oh, I'm just hopping from stream to stream this morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just got done with Steve.
Oh.
Steve's very own.
Uh-huh.
He did a morning chat, and then someone said you were coming on, and I come over to check you out.
Yep. So what's been going on with you in terms of Linux?
A whole lot, believe it or not. I'm on Debian 10 right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, now I'm kind of fully invested of just being on it. As you know, it came out last weekend.
Yeah.
I downloaded the net installer ISO.
Mm-hmm.
And I got some help from the people over at Matthew Moore's channel, or Gizmo 757, Mr. Gizmo himself. And there's some people over there. And I got it to work really easy with the net installer and VirtualBox. It was almost too easy. And I started installing some software and playing with it. And I'm like, man, I kind of really like this, you know? Because I had been on Ubuntu Mate for like 9 months. And I decided, well, okay, we're going to put this on some real hardware and see what it's really like. So I took a SSD that I wasn't using and backed up everything that was on it, cleared it off, and then I put the net installer on it and went through all the motions and tried to follow the Debian wiki as something else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not well put together. And then when I was all done, I had a blank screen with a blinking cursor. And come to find out, come to find out that it doesn't come with any non-free drivers or anything. And I went through the logs, and sure enough, out of all things, it said that the AMD GPU driver was not found. So I had no video. So after that, I just went and got one of the unofficial install ISOs and I installed that. I got the Cinnamon desktop one. And that one took, and then I had Debian, but it comes pretty bare bones. You kind of got to build it from scratch.
Yeah, it's pretty much almost like Arch in a way.
It is. And I got it installed, and I noticed with the Cinnamon desktop, it comes with 3 terminals. It comes with Cinnamon's own terminal and 2 different Xterm terminals, but not one of them had a copy and paste function.
Oh, that's nice.
That is irritating, especially if you want to copy commands off a net page and put them in your terminal and run them, you know. So what I had done with the net installer when I did in the VirtualBox is it allowed you to choose desktops and more than one, and I choose Cinnamon and Mate with that installer and installed both of them. So somebody gave me the terminal command to install the Mate desktop as well.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So when I installed the Mate desktop, I actually acquired some of the Mate tools, and they even work in Cinnamon as well as. And I also got the Mate terminal, which has a copy and paste function in it. So that kind of made me happy. And then you get the Mate system monitor and all kinds of stuff like that, an archive manager, but then I ran into some troubles with the GDebi installer.
Dear, what happened?
GDebi installer works just fine from the terminal. You just type GDebi in the package, you know, and it'll install it. But the graphical one, you'd open it up and hit the install button, and it would just drop right out. So I got the bright idea to go to the users shared application folders, and I'm assuming you know what that is.
Yes, I know what that is.
That's where all your menu junk is stored.
Yes.
So I went down to the GDebi menu junk thing, and I was looking at it, and I was reading all the way down to the bottom, and it said terminal. And I'm going, I wonder what happens if I switch terminal from false to true. So I switched that, and I saved it, and lo and behold, the GDebi graphic installer started to work. What it would do is it would open the terminal up and an Xterm terminal and hide it behind the GDebi GUI installer. But it would allow you to go through the motions with the graphic installer and install things. So that was a workaround that worked out. But after that, I had to hunt and pick for all the software because I have a text file with all the software that I'm familiar with, that I've used in the past, and picked out the stuff that I wanted. I made it a point not to use snap packages, even though Debian 10 does come with a Synaptic package manager.
I see.
So a lot of this stuff, about 60% of the stuff I could apt-get install and get my program installed. And the other stuff I had to either download it as a deb package or build it from scratch. And some of this stuff is like, now I notice a lot of software is now turning into just app images or standalone run packages. If you go to the Etcher website, want a Linux Etcher ISO builder for your USB sticks, it now comes as a standalone item. You just download it, throw it maybe in a folder in your home directory called bin, and you just click on it when you want to make an ISO.
That's good.
Debian 10 comes with Firefox ESR. If you want the Quantum one, you can download the Quantum package the same way. It's a bundled tarball, and you just extract it into a folder, and you run your Firefox Quantum from that folder. Or you can go like I did with WaterFox. I put it in the opt folder, made a file for it that goes in the folder we were talking about the GDebi was in. And, so it's in your desktop menu, and then you have WaterFox in your menu. To run it that way. The Firefox Quantum is kind of the same way. You can do it either or in your home folder, or you can install it as part of the machine by making a .desktop file.
Mm-hmm.
And I did find some people that actually have some tutorials on how to do that are out there.
Yeah.
But after that, I just spent a lot of time tweaking and installing stuff. It took me about 4 days to get everything I wanted just the way I wanted. Another thing I didn't like, I come across that in a lot of cases that the sound control that comes with a lot of distros just isn't enough. Because when you got multiple audio devices, you want to turn some of them off. Like if you have a Yeti mic and you have a Logitech camera, they both have microphones in them. You want the option to kill one of the microphones. So,
I think for me, one of the things that I would suggest to the companies that make all these cameras and stuff is, if a camera has a microphone, I think, in my opinion, it would be in the company's best interest to put an actual hardware switch onto the device to where you could turn the camera's microphone off manually. This way you don't have to go into Pulse Audio or anything to where you could turn it off from there.
The Pulse Audio sound controller is not quite the same, and I'm looking for, where could it be? It's like a PAVU audio controller.
Yeah, PAVU control.
Yeah, PAVU control. I installed that, and that has the ability to, it has a tab where you can turn stuff on and off personally.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I messed up my scratch file. I tried to straighten out a text file. I think I deleted that out of it. Ugh. Not good. But that seemed to help in some regards. I had some issues also. With the onboard controller on my motherboard for the audio.
Oh, dear.
It seemed like after I opened certain things, I didn't have this problem so much with web browsers as I did with Mumble, Discord, and a few other applications where the sound would get all scratchy after a while and you could hardly hear it.
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, some people did some research for me, and I guess if you have a Realtek audio controller as a generic controller on your motherboard, this has been an issue all the way back to 2012 that they haven't fixed in a kernel.
Oh, so this issue's been around for literally almost 10 years.
Yeah, I ran across 4 or 5 other people that are having the same issue directly by talking to them. So I found a Sound Blaster card on Amazon, ordered it. It came yesterday, threw it in. Linux loves it, and I don't have this issue no more.
That is wonderful.
Just by turning off the motherboard.
How old is the Sound Blaster card?
That's really funny. It shipped as a brand new product in a box, all sealed and everything. But when you open it up, it is a PCIe card. So it does fit in the motherboard. But the instructions they stop at Windows 8.
Okay. So the final version of Sound Blaster was for Windows 8 machines.
Yeah, it was only a $40 card.
Okay.
They did offer more expensive cards that had the surround sound 7.1, which I have no use for that. As long as I can get 2 speakers to work, that's fine. I have 2 Bose speakers, and
I see.
They're good enough for me.
Yeah. Excuse me just 1 minute, please.
And he's off and running. Hey Steve, how you doing? I'm trying to give Ricky a little hand out here and talk with him for a while, share some news. Hello, did you have a good breakfast? At some point, I got to stop this hopping around the internet and go eat myself. Oh, that's cool. You need to spend some time with your wife. They enjoy that. Bacon. Yeah. I remember a time in my life when the bacon was walking around in the barn.
Okay, people, I'm back. All right.
Yes, Steve dropped in to say hi.
Oh, hey, Steve.
He had his breakfast.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm just going to run it out until lunch.
um, are you planning to try out Endeavor OS?
I might look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still fussing around with Debian a little bit, but yeah, at some point I'll look at it. I'll
Okay.
probably put it
It
in a
is.
virtual machine first.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. It's the spiritual successor to Antergos.
Okay.
The someone picked up the Intragos code not long ago. It's a new company. Basically, Endeavor OS is going to pick up where Antragos left off. It's pretty much going to come with 10 desktop environments.
It comes with them or a choice of which ones to install out of 10?
I believe it's the choices. You have a choice between 10 of them.
Wow.
So it's going.
I'm starting to find with desktops, particularly desktops that were originally built with a distro for a distro are much better than ones that you import or just have to choose from. Like using Cinnamon on Debian is not the same as using Cinnamon with Mint. Mate's not the same as using it with Ubuntu by a long shot.
No, I mean, well, the thing about Ubuntu Mate, it's made specifically for Ubuntu, but the Mate desktop itself, when you install it onto another distro, it comes bare bones. You got to get all the enhancements individually in order to make Mate better.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get the tweak tool individually.
Actually, you can. It is available for Arch users. It is available in the AUR. I don't know how you would get it with Gentoo. I don't know how you would get it with independent distros, but I know there's individual ways of getting it. Speaking of Gentoo, as I stated earlier, July 27th, would have been the day I would do my live Gen 2 install with Surge, but Surge informed me last night something came up. So the live Gen 2 installation has been rescheduled, people, to July 28th, 9 a.m.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, July 28th, 9 a.m. is the live Gen 2 installation.
July 28th. What time?
9 a.m. U.S. time. Eastern.
Yeah, you're in the same time zone I am.
Yeah.
We seem to be all lucky that way.
Yeah, we are.
There's a few of them in the central time zone, but they're not hard to deal with at all.
No, not at all.
I can think an hour out of whack in either direction, but when you start getting over into California, I got to get my fingers and toes out for that. Or the UK.
Yeah. Oh, looky here. Distro Watch has a few updates available. Clonezilla is up to 2.6.2. Anti-X, which is based off of Debian, is up to its 19 beta 2. Farron OS is up to its current snapshot. And also, just this morning, the Linux Mint 19.2 beta is out.
The Linux Mint beta?
Yeah, there's a 19.2 beta that just came out.
What we found out with the Ubuntu when its 0.2 came out, there's a hardware enablement stack that comes out in the I think for me it came out as an update. It broke a lot of people's older computers.
Really?
Yeah, because supposedly they took some of the hardware enablement out of the stack and replaced it with hardware enablement for new stuff. I know of 2 or 3 people that actually encountered problems.
Yeah.
So that's something to watch out for.
Oh, I'm pretty aware. I mean, the thing is, Peppermint's where I'm staying right now. I'm not gonna go near pure Ubuntu because there's just a whole bunch of things going all around when it comes to Ubuntu that I have to keep a watch out for. Like the thing you just told me about, the hardware enablement issue, and there's a few other issues that's going with Ubuntu as well.
And thus, that's why I'm on Debian.
Mm-hmm.
I tried Linux Mint, and I first started off on the 1803 or something like that. Yeah. But when I got to the 1901, I think, or 04.1, it crashes on me about every 3 hours, and I just can't figure out what it is. Zebedee Boss over in the UK said that he had a similar situation. It was due to his firmware on his motherboard, and he updated his firmware and it stopped.
Oh, okay.
Now, if I update my firmware, I know what I'm getting. I'm getting more enablement in my firmware for the new Zen 3 processors that are coming out from AMD because my board's backwards compatible.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So I don't know how badly that's going to mess stuff up. Firmware for motherboards is kind of a spooky area.
It is. It really is. Because you don't know if it's going to break or you don't know if it's going to work.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see. Oh, my dog's ready to come in. Hold on.
Gotta go let the dog in. Okay, for some news for some of you people out there that like to use the app Shutters. It's getting to the point where you can't get it no more. The developers have stopped working on it, and it's kind of, I could not find it anywhere. I used to use it for a screenshot tool, and believe it or not, the screenshot doesn't work the way I wanted in Debian. I had to find an alternative. I forgot the name. What I got Flameshot. I'm learning how to use that for a screenshot tool. So far, it's been kind of a little wonky because I got to use it now and then, but I'm still learning how to actually make it a habit and how to operate it. But I'm sorry to actually see Shutters go because it was a very complete program.
Okay.
Okay, Ricky. I had some little low-level news here. You familiar with the program Shutter?
I've heard of it. It's an image viewer, isn't it?
It's a screenshot tool that has some editing capabilities to it.
Okay.
And I had used it for a while to replace what I was used to using in Windows because I had a Windows utility that was similar. But I guess the developers decided to stop working on it, and you can't get it no more. It's not in the repos. I can't seem to find, a package for it because the Debian screenshot tool really don't seem to work that well.
Yeah.
So I found something. I think I had to build this one too. It's called Flameshot.
Flameshot, that's a good one.
You know about that one?
Very little. The screenshot tool I mainly use is where is it? It should be in accessories. I pretty much either use one of two applications. I'll either use the XFCE screen shooter or the GNOME screenshot tool.
Yes, yeah, I have the GNOME one too, but it won't work in Debian for some reason. It has to do with the keys, and you try to set the keys up so it works with the FN and your screenshot button.
Yeah.
But if it does take a screenshot, it just puts it in your pictures folder, and that's all it does. And it's not like you can draw a box. It doesn't open a dialog box, so you can draw a box around your screenshot item you want to share.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame that Shutter's not in the system anymore. I'm wondering what caused them to retract their own code.
Well, I think it has to do more or less with the distro seeing that there's nobody doing anything with it anymore, so they've dropped it.
Okay.
There's another item. You're familiar with Clementine, right?
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that.
Well, that's superseded by another similar application because Clementine's been forked because nobody's been doing anything with that for a while.
Oh.
And that's been forked into something called Strawberry.
Strawberry.
And they look very similar.
Okay. So I'm guessing Strawberry is being used more than Clementine?
I don't have any data on that, what's being used more, but I had brought up to people, yeah, I love Clementine. I've been using it for a while. There's a newer version of that called Strawberry out there, so I decided to try that.
Mm-hmm. The music player that I mainly use is Dead Beef. Dead Beef has been my favorite because I first heard about it when DistroTube talked about it. It's a lightweight music player that you can use with mainly any window manager. Lightweight window manager.
Right.
Also, a few other programs that I use on mine. Well, I use mainly a few of them.
All right. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Dan.
Oh, hey, Ben.
Ben.
I was wondering when you were going to show up.
I was napping for a little bit.
Just letting you know, Ben, if you decide to rewatch the stream later on, if you rewind the live stream, I gave you and your channel a shout out.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What's going on over on your channel, Ben?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just it's been lacking content because there hasn't been that much to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, Ben, I'm informing you. Serge contacted me last night. Something came up, so I had to reschedule the live Gin translation to July 28th.
That's fine.
It's still going to happen at 9 a.m.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be there whenever you guys want to do it.
Okay. Did you guys hear anything about Zebedee Bosses Gen 2?
That's happening a week from yesterday. So
it's next Saturday that he's going to have it back on. They're going to do something with it.
Finish it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so next weekend, meaning the 20th.
Okay.
Yes.
Then the week after that will be mine.
Correct.
Okay. I think what will most likely have to happen, since my live streams normally last at least two hours, the Gen 2 live stream may have to be split into two.
Yeah, that's how it usually works.
Yeah. So what we could do, and if I get in recontact with Serge again, we could do the installation as one part, and then the other live stream part, we could just install the basic stuff on it.
That's probably your best go.
Yeah, that would be a better idea.
Yeah, and something I found out when I did it with EB was the fact that I added way too much into his make.conf. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I kind of wrung that part.
It kind of floored me that you got to a point where there was a tool where you actually built your own kernel out of. You really have to know what's in your machine to do that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And and I'm working on Linux from scratch right now, and you even have to know what your kernel is even in that.
Oh, by the way, Ben, I got Lutris.
Oh, awesome.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean uninstall every single game I have except for Lutris and Steam, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Lutris to reinstall most of their data, but make them native to Linux.
Yeah, and by the way, Dan, in Matt's Discord, there was a lot of people that got muted. I was like, what the frick is this? So I was like, oh.
Yeah. I really don't know, other than I noticed that you were grayed out last night.
I don't know why the heck that happened. I was just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
send Matthew a message on Discord so we can see it then.
Yeah, I took a snapshot of it on my phone because I was checking my phone middle of the night last night. And I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, yesterday was a heavy YouTube day for me. I don't have my own channel. I just raid everybody else's.
Right, well, what happened was...
They don't seem to mind, so I kind of keep it that way.
Right, well, what happened was I was just dabbling, doing my own thing, and I don't recall doing anything to get muted last night.
Because I wanted to actually get on the Biddle European edition in the afternoon because they were doing the Debian distro review, and I'd been on it, and I've moved into it for a week.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to tell them my experience. So I did the afternoon edition so I could get on Toss's channel in the evening at 8 o'clock to see Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I got off that, then I hopped on Discord and noticed this, that, and the other thing. And
I was shocked that happened because, I don't know what Matt was thinking doing that because I don't remember doing anything to get it that extreme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's best not to aggravate Matt too much because he's under an awful lot of stress.
Yeah.
If that's the case. I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah.
But he gets kind of little snippy with me, but I let it go by because I know his situation and he's going to have to move soon and everything else.
Yeah, I know he's a bit agitated, but I don't recall doing anything to overly exaggerate it. I mean,
go on the Discord server and leave a message and ask him if he can talk to you.
Yeah, because I mean,
you don't have to do it now. You can do it tonight. You can do it when you're in a better frame of mind if you want.
Yeah, I'm not agitated at him, so I don't know. Let me see. I'll just send him a. He said, "I know it's not an accident." That's all he said. Let's say, "Hi, why am I muted in your server?" He's on now, so I just asked him. Yeah.
Found it. Okay. Endeavor OS, an Arch-based distro with a friendly community. Okay, let's see. Let's go. Yes. Okay.
What's it say?
It says, well, let me look at the news to see if they officially. The 15th. The 15th. So it's releasing tomorrow. Okay.
Yay.
It looks really nice. I like the way it looks. Okay.
Man, I don't need to hop another distro. This one about killed me.
Oh, man.
Well, the thing is, I told Ben that since I'm on Peppermint, this computer is restricted from hopping anymore.
I just use one computer and a ton of hard drives.
Well, the thing about this computer I'm using, it's an all-in-one monitor, so I really can't. Well, I could change the hard drive, but the thing is, I would have to open the thing up.
Oh my gosh!
And I don't.
Mine is opened. I never closed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I found the feet for it.
Oh wow!
Well, the feet are pretty much under the monitor right here. I have to get some computer feet pullers.
You have cats and dogs though, don't you?
Yeah, I got some cats in the background. There's a dog roaming
around. You don't
around.
leave your computer open. They'll chew through the wires.
Yeah. Well, luckily, my computer is this monitor here is on the table, and my tower is built into the monitor itself. This is an all-in-one. The other towers are on tables too, so they really can't chew through anything. Okay. Oh, nice. So Endeavor OS is on Mastodon. Nice. I may check. Okay, here we go. Okay, Endeavor OS at mastodon.social. Okay, I'll check you out. Let's see, Endeavor OS. Okay.
That's supposed to replace Anterghost.
Yep.
Yep.
And the thing is, it has its own wiki. Well, going to have its own wiki. Its wiki hasn't been constructed yet. But the site looks very fresh. I like the design. I mean, this is going to be a huge change for the Antergos community. I mean, it's going to be tough. However, I think it's going to be in everybody's best interest. I really do think so. I mean, we need, besides installing Arch the Arch way, if you're introducing somebody new to Arch, and me and Ben have explained this multiple times, you need a user-friendly way to do it too.
Yes, you do.
Am I right, Ben?
Yeah, we need something that'll make Arch super easy, right?
Exactly. Because the thing is, you're not just going to take a Windows user, convert him into Linux overnight. I mean, it's a slow process that takes so many months. I mean, it took me a full year to fully convert to Linux. I have a Windows 10 hard drive and a Windows 10 full computer right over there. And that's the only Windows computer I have in my room. All my other machines are Linux.
All it took was for me to read the Windows end user agreement when it first came out. Mm-hmm. And I was looking for an alternative that day. Needless to say, I still do have a computer with Windows 7 on it, but it's kind of an archive thing. It's not something I'd use every day.
Yeah.
It's there in case I need to do a task I can't find a Linux application to do.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Still trying to recover from this cold that I have. Luckily, my voice was strong enough to do some stuff today.
Yeah, how do you get a cold in Florida?
Well, the thing is, there's been a viral infection going around my family for a little while now, and I just happened to get it.
Oh.
Luckily, the doctor put me on some good medicine, and I feel better already.
Well, that's good.
Okay. So Sparky Linux is up to 4.11. It's not far from reaching 5.0. That's good. I was on Sparky Linux for a very long time. It was actually one of the best Debian distros I've ever used. I even had, besides having XFCE on there, I had KDE Plasma.
I just discovered something that's kind of silly, but it would be nice to just save it. I opened my bash history folder, and it's got in it all the sudo app installed stuff that I actually put in this Debian distro. Now, this would be nice to copy all this junk out of here and put it into its own folder. So if I have to do it again, I have a running list of all the work I did.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So, like I had to do things like sudo app install, make MPV, and install. Same for VLC, sound converter, all these little toys I like to play with in Linux. They're all here the ones that I could app install.
Yeah, Linux kernel 5.2.1 has released.
I'm still down in the 4 somewhere, 4.19.5, I think.
Yeah, let me just check what kernel I have. Let me do a uname R. I'm at 4.18.0-25-generic. I mean,
that's for Peppermint?
Yeah.
It sounds right for Peppermint.
Yeah.
I had an issue, I think, with one of the 4.18 kernels that I was using in Ubuntu, and I actually went back to the Ubuntu tool. I went to actually kernel.org, to that website, and they have a list of kernels that are stable, unstable, in development, and all kinds of stuff like that. I chose 419.56 because it was listed as LTS and stable. So I put that in and it fixed a lot of my issues.
That's good. That's really good. Okay, let's just see what we got here. I mean, there's a bit of news here. Mint team considers snap packages. Oh no.
Kept running from them.
Yeah, they kept running from snap packages. Now the Mint team is possibly considering, that's gonna go so wrong.
Despite what they say and what happens when I use them are two opposite things.
Yeah. What's this? Ubuntu 18.10 nears the end of its life cycle. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, but that was a 6-month release only. It's not an LTS.
Yeah. It says right here, Adam Conrad has published a notice reminding Ubuntu users that 18.10 is approaching the end of its supported life. Ubuntu announced its 18.10 Cosmic Kernel features almost 9 months ago, on October 18, 2018, as a non-LTS release. 18.10 has a 9-month support cycle, and as such, the support period is now ending. Is now nearing its end, and Ubuntu 18.10 will reach the end of life on Thursday, July 18th. At that time, Ubuntu security notices will no longer include information or updated packages for 18.10. The supported GUI upgrade path from Ubuntu 18.10 is via Ubuntu 19.4. Upgrade instructions are available for those who wish to upgrade to 19.4. So if you all wish to upgrade to 19.4, I mean, you have a chance to do so.
That's good.
Excuse me.
That's if you're one of them people that wants to constantly upgrade to the same thing.
Exactly. Because if I'm correct, I believe Peppermint 10 is based on Ubuntu 18.04 still, right? The 18.04 LTS.
Probably that 0.1 or 0.2.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this LTS is supported for until at least 2023. Well, 2022 possibly. Let's see. What other news items are there? There's a notice for Red Hat. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, here's a bit of there's some Ubuntu and Fedora stuff, which is nice. Oh, here's a bit of news on Mangea.
Mangea, interesting.
Mageia 7 is out. So if anybody wants to try a RPM distro that's not Fedora, go check that one out. Okay, here's an opinion poll. And it says right here, last week we talked about the latest release of OpenMandrava, and this week we took a look at Mageia. Both of these community distributions grew from the code and community left behind when Mandrava was shut down. While both Mageia and OpenMandrava share a lot of features in common, they have gradually diverged over time, each offering a slightly different vision of what a user-friendly distribution can look like. We would like to know if our readers have a preference for one of these Mandrava descendants over the other. Let us know what you think of these two distributions in the comments. You can see the results of our previous poll on using 32-bit applications in last week's edition. All previous poll results can be found in our poll archives. So basically, to both of you, between Mandrava and OpenMandrava, what are your thoughts? I mean, have you ever considered using either one of those, or have you heard of them?
No.
Yeah, it'd be no and no for me.
Yeah, indeed. I'll stick to what I know. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's just see what else. Okay, upcoming. We got some details of upcoming releases.
Awesome.
FreeBSD 1.3 is already out. But on the 15th, the same day as Endeavor OS, Q4OS is updating to 3.8. The one thing I like about Q4OS 3.8 is the way they have upgraded the Trinity desktop environment. That is a very cool and lightweight environment. Because the one reason why I like Trinity so much is it's based on the old KDE3 environment.
Well, didn't Linux PC, didn't that one have the Trinity desktop at one time?
I believe it did.
The 1% ARM supports?
Mm-hmm.
Because I had tried that at one time, and all the icons were like 3D, and they were very Windows XP looking like.
Yep. Also let's see, it's July. September 3rd is when Tails 3.16 comes out. The 17th is when the Fedora 31 beta starts. September 26th is when Ubuntu 19.10 beta comes out. We are getting a beta. And October 17th is when Ubuntu 19.10 releases. And at the end of the year, October 22nd is when Fedora 31 is going to be released. I have on my computer up here, my TV computer, Fedora 30 LXDE. Snappiest operating system I've ever seen. I love LXDE. It reminds me of Windows 95. That's why I like it so much.
Yeah, that's going way back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the newer Ubuntu's coming out, they're going to start pulling out those 32-bit packages they don't want to handle no more. Plus, they're going to integrate more snaps, make it tougher for you to use app images. What irritated me the most with the the Ubuntu Mate I gave up is I used the GNOME store to install an app. Well, I expected it to be installed as a regular PPA. It installed it as a snap.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what my thoughts were.
Yeah. One of the things I did read up is not all 32-bit stuff is going to be removed from Ubuntu. There have been announcements that Wine and Steam are going to stay with Ubuntu. So they are planning to keep Wine and Steam.
That's good. Luckily, they'll be keeping the 32-bit libs for a while.
Yeah, the 32-bit libs are staying as well.
That's good.
They're not.
There's a lot of software.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of software out there for Linux that was started and is still maintained today, and with 32-bit packages.
Yeah,
and that software is going to die off, and it's going to shrink the choices of software we have for Linux down considerably.
Yeah, that's why I am not touching 19. The 19 series with a 10-foot pole, because what Canonical is doing wrong is they are pulling features out when they should be improving Ubuntu and making it better. That's what they should be doing.
They want to make it more like it's a cell phone, and your snaps are cell phone apps.
Well, the way that the direction that Canonical's going, I don't like it. And that's why Ben will agree with me that if Canonical keeps going this way, we got to consider other options other than Ubuntu-based distros. I mean, we could go to Debian, Gentoo, Arch, somewhere.
Yeah, what Canonical is most interested in, and where most of their interest is invested, is not in Ubuntu itself as an open source Linux platform. It's the Ubuntu Enterprise, Ubuntu Advantage that they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're catering to, is the Ubuntu Advantage enterprise thing they got going.
Yeah. Yep. The thing is, I mean, I'll say one thing, people. I mean, something bad is going to happen to Ubuntu within the next 5 years. I could just feel it in the pit of my stomach. Something is going to happen that's going to cause Ubuntu to lose a lot of its user base. And it's all Canonical's fault, because here's the thing. Canonical first started going downhill the minute they stopped supporting Unity.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Microsoft Linux? There's a lot of buzz floating around about that too.
Well, if Microsoft wants to make their own Linux distribution, I don't mind, as long as they're doing something.
Yeah, but they're going to make this so if they do a Linux distro, they're going to make it so it's going to be a package that runs all the games. It's going to run everything, and people are going to just migrate to it. They ain't going to care about the fact that it's from Microsoft. They're going to care that it runs all their games. It's runs all the open source software. It's going to be a jackknife, a Swiss Army knife of distros.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they don't care what operating system they run, as long as it runs their stuff. That's all they care about.
Exactly. And that's why I'm not liking Microsoft or Canonical right now. It's because they don't care about the users. They only care if the users line their pockets. That's all they care about.
Yep.
Hello, Royson. Welcome to my live stream. Oh, and you have a question for me. Why is Steam using 32-bit and not 64?
I
Well,
can answer that one, Ricky.
okay, I'll let you answer it, Ben.
Because a lot of games these days, while a lot of them would logically seem 64-bit, from what I understand, a lot of games still have some 32-bit components in there, as do a lot of games that are originally released that come ported to Steam. Steam, from what I understand, sorry, I was reading something. But yeah, a lot of games on Steam that are legacy and some that are not legacy games have 32-bit components in them, and it would be a huge pain in the neck for Steam to correct these things.
It would. It would take a lot of hard work for Steam to even do that.
Right. So
you can't just ask developers to rewrite all their code into 64-bit code because of the amount of time it takes to code something.
Right, and we have all these new games coming out that they would have to recode into pure 64-bit. So there is no way that that all these devs are gonna want to do that. It's just not gonna happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there is no way in the world that Steam's gonna want to do that.
Nope.
And when Steam sells a game, they want the user of the game to purchase it to be able to play it for a very long time.
Exactly.
It's not something you purchase and throw away in 2 years.
Exactly. I mean, this is one of the major differences between the Windows version of Steam and the Linux version of Steam. I mean, while Linux Steam and Windows Steam do have 64-bit games in some degree, the developers aren't just going to make everything for when it comes to Linux for 64-bit compatible, because Linux from the very beginning has always had full-blown 32-bit support, even if you have a 64-bit processor. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I just, in my opinion, I don't think Steam is ever going to go pure 64-bit, just like a lot of other apps that we use daily. I think, as much as we would love to have a pure 64-bit Steam client, that is going to really cut off a lot of games that we use.
Exactly.
As well as, other things.
Exactly, and I think that's where alternative services like Lutris, GOG, and come in, because they can fill the 64-bit gap better, because the thing about Lutris is it can take almost any game you have for Steam and make it native to Linux very, very easily. And the thing about GOG, it fills in some of the gaps, and Ben will give me with this. GOG fills in the 64-bit gap very, very well that Steam just can't.
Yeah, that's about it in a nutshell.
Yeah, and guys, I found out why Matt muted me. It was because, he said that I was being a nuisance to the server, evidently.
Oh.
Yeah, he sent me screenshots of what was being said in the server. I was like, what the hell is this? But nonetheless, he's doing it.
I hope you didn't bring up me.
No, it wasn't. It was nothing to do with you. It was the fact that they don't know how to.
I don't need him mad at me.
No, it's not you, Dan. It's the fact that they don't know how to deal with my disorder. That's the problem.
Yeah, the thing is that type of
people in there don't know how to deal with Asperger's people. They don't know
exactly. In other words, Dan, people with ADHD,
autism, things like that.
Other people just don't know how to handle those people specifically.
No.
I don't either, but I just try to go with it, you know?
Yeah.
It's effective.
Yeah.
You know, I understand people
Cobalt.
have their own problems.
Yeah. You see, it was Cobalt and all of them that were mostly yakking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, you know, they should just learn to accept it, but they just don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt said there's 81 people in his server, and they're like, a lot of them just don't know that I have this problem.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, yeah, he's dealing with it somehow. So
Yeah.
but
I
anyway,
didn't know you had that problem either for many, many months until it kind of looked obvious that I had to ask some questions.
yeah, well,
That was fine.
Yeah, I do struggle with it, Dan, and a lot of his members don't know how to do that. Yeah, he says he has to leave, but he's in the process of moving. Later tonight, when everyone logs in, he'll have a meeting with everybody and figure out what to do. So, yeah. Later tonight, he's going to deal with it. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, he got a pretty stiff rent increase.
Yeah, he noticed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, people. I'm gonna give it about 19 more minutes, and then we'll be wrapping things up. I thought I was gonna wrap things up earlier, but I didn't know if anybody was coming in or not.
Yeah, I felt I'd come in and just chill for a while.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute. I need to actually go pee.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good. Let's see.
Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll look up a bit more tech news.
That's fine.
Just so we can pass the time here until I wrap things up here. Okay. Here we go. The Verge. The Verge.
That's always good.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, we got a few good ones today. The Secret Lives of Facebook Moderators in America. Ooh. That might be something I need to send to a certain somebody.
What's this now? Sorry, I was getting a message.
I found a really good article. The Secret Lives of Facebook Moderators in America.
Oh, Tom's just gonna love that.
Uh-huh. I sent him the link to the chat. I was hoping he would show up, but I'm guessing he's busy. But oh well.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Microsoft Word for Android has been installed more than 1 billion times.
Holy smokes.
Let's see here. This video reimagines the iPhone as a retro Macintosh.
A retro Mac, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why should you really update your Logitech wireless dongle?
Huh.
You can update the dongle. I never knew you could.
That's interesting.
Update your Logitech dongle.
Yeah. It says why should you really update your Logitech wireless dongle? It says right here, 3.5 years ago, a security researcher broke into my laptop without ever needing to touch it. He didn't even need its network access. All he had to do was sniff out my Logitech wireless mouse's tiny USB receiver, fire off a few lines of code, and start typing things that appeared on my screen. He could have wiped out my hard drive, installed malware, or worse. Much as if he'd had physical access to my PC. It was the kind of hack I laughed at in a terrible hacker movie. The kind that seemed too convenient to actually exist. But when I wrote about the so-called Mouse Jack hack in 2016, I figured that that was that. I given the issue attention in a major technology news publication. Lots of people were reading about it, and Logitech had already issued a patch. Yet I'm now learning that the world may not be rid of Mouse Jack yet. Earlier this week, security researcher Marcus Mengs revealed that Logitech's wireless unifying dongles are actually vulnerable to a variety of newly discovered hacks, primarily ones that paired with presentation clickers or during a brief window of opportunity when you're pairing a new mouse or keyboard to the dongle. I didn't think much of that last one. Logitech's peripherals come paired, and you have to be a pretty lucky hacker to know exactly when someone has lost their dongle or mouse and is setting up a new one. Something else in Ming's report and ZDNet's coverage caught my eye. However, an allegation that Logitech is still selling USB dongles vulnerable to the original Mouse Jack hack. I got in touch with Mark Newland, the beastie researcher who originally hacked me in 2016, and he immediately collaborated the report. He just recently purchased a Logitech M510 mouse that still came with a vulnerable dongle as well. So I spoke to Logitech, and a rep admitted that those unpatched dongles may still be on the market. In fact, Logitech says never actually recalled any products after the original hack in 2016. Logitech evaluated the risk to businesses and to consumers and did not indicate a recall of products or components already in the market and supply chain. We made the firmware update available to any customers that were particularly concerned and implemented changes in products produced later. Logitech did phrase the fix in for newly manufactured products that a rep said they can't yet confirm when the changes were made at the factory. Not that we should necessarily be singing out Logitech, mind you, according to Newland, Mouse Jack affected devices from Dell, HP, Lenovo, and Microsoft, and possibly others that use some new Nordic and Texas Instruments chips and firmware for their wireless receivers. Since Logitech lets you update the firmware on its unifying dongles, they were better off than most. And there's more information down at the bottom if any one of you guys want to read it later. I will put this link into the live stream live chat itself.
Yeah, this Logitech mouse is several years old. It's probably one of those.
Maybe. Well, what do you think of that, Ben?
We have a real issue.
Yeah.
Don't say what model. It's a very nice mouse. It's got a really good grip to it.
Logitech powers my USB keyboard and mouse that's plugged in by a dongle to my Core 2 quad machine, and the mouse that's plugged into my laptop, and I never had a problem. So it's really, it is, but this does seem like a very risky issue to keep using their products, if you ask me.
From what I understand, their newer stuff falls apart with ease.
Yeah.
People complain about the click wheels quit working and the push buttons for the right and the left stick or won't click no more.
Oh, what's this? Mini reveal of the TurboGrafx 16 comes out March 2020 with 50 built-in games.
Yeah.
Oh, they're making a mini TurboGrafx 16. That's cool. A lot of Bomberman, a lot of whole bunch of good games. TurboGrafx 16, one of the best retro consoles to pick up of all time. Let's see here. What other news? Facebook's 5 billion FTC fine is an embarrassing joke.
How much?
5 billion.
5 billion? That's going to sting a little more than 5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Till now, they've only been hit with like a few $1 million fines.
Exactly. Apple restores banned parental control app RPAT to the App Store. Oh dear, I gotta see this. Oh, I gotta see this. What do we got here? Following changes to the App Store guidelines at WWDC, Apple has reversed course on its ban of potential parental control app RPAT, allowing the software to return to the App Store in its original form and without any limitations or restrictions. The move marks an end to a months-long dispute between Apple and a variety of parental control companies affected by Apple restrictions. The fact that Apple removed or prevented updates to many of these apps, including RPAT, raised eyebrows because it allegedly stemmed from a sudden change in policy that reclassified the apps as unsafe due to the technology they relied on for managing kids' devices. The issue was that these apps were using a suite of tools called MDM, or multi-device management, designed for management of hardware in IT and school environments. It was still allowed on the App Store and a variety of enterprise-level apps after Apple's rule change, despite using the exact same technology and seemingly putting their users at some purported risk. Things came to a head excuse me, before Apple's annual WWDC developer gathering, following a story in the New York Times that put a spotlight on the affected parental app. The report noted that Apple's ban seemed to conclude with its own rollout of the built-in screen time parental control tool in iOS 12, suggesting Apple's motives involved self-interest. In response, Apple took the unusual step of publishing a letter from Phil Schiller, its longtime worldwide marketing chief, explaining that the apps put users' privacy and security at risk and therefore had to be removed. A group of parental app developers, including RPAT, then band together to demand an API from Apple for their apps to function within iOS's new limits, if they were to be permanently prevented using the existing MDM tools.
Wow. I didn't know Apple was so crazy about this problem.
It gets worse a little further down.
Yeah.
Yet in another twist, Apple updated its App Store review guidelines during WWDC to allow for parental control apps using MDM and VPN tools, seemingly in response to the controversy, and now with RPAT, the most publicly affected app, officially back into the store. It seems that the whole affair is finally over with. Still, even with this controversy finally wrapped up, it's a good reminder of the near total power Apple wields over the App Store and what apps are allowed and not allowed in. Even if this particular incident seemingly resolved, given the nature of Apple's slight tight-fisted control, odds are this won't be the last time this kind of controversy crops up.
Wow. I mean, Apple. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Things seem to be getting worse and worse and worse. But the sad part is, we still don't have, the problem is that, Ricky, we just don't have a better shot with Google because, unfortunately, with Android, I mean, sure, we still have more options to get rid of the privacy problems there, but the problem is that, they're just not that much better. That's the problem.
Exactly. Hey, Hank, how you doing, buddy? Yes, this is an open chat. If you want to come in, I will repost the link right now. There you go. There you go, Hank.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like I said with Android, they're just not proving that much clearer.
No, you're right about that. They are not.
Right, and it's a shame that we don't have much better options for phones and things like that because I mean, sure, we've got Chromebooks, but that's still tied to Google. I mean, all these tech companies that produce all these great products,
well, the people like Toss and stuff like that, and Toss switched from the Ubuntu thing to the Chromebook thing. I think that's even, Chrome. Google's getting to the point where they control most of the internet, and all they got to do is just implement and change the HTTPS protocol from 5 to 6, which 6 would be whatever they want. You'd be forced to use their browsers, their phones, and stuff like that to view web content.
Yeah,
it's not that far off.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. I mean, this is what bugs me about the world these days is that we just don't have a good understanding of what's going on anymore. And, with the way things are going, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really scary when you think about it in a bigger proportion. And Google, not only they are into internet stuff, servers and Chromebooks and everything else, they're playing with self-driving cars too.
Exactly.
I know, and self-driving cars is more dangerous than anything else. But the way the future's going, it's not like we can stop that.
Yep.
Which is really
our government officials don't do anything about it.
Right, because they don't know any better.
Well, it used to be last century. In the late 90s, the phone companies got too big. So what the government do? They broke them up, mainly AT&T. And then we had all kinds of other choices for landline usage,
Excuse me.
That's when people still use landline. I mean, there was a lot of choices. I wish I could remember some of them.
Yeah.
But AT&T got so big and huge that they became a monopoly, and the government said, we can't have that. We need to break this up. Sprint was somebody you could get through a landline before they even started really getting into cell phones heavy.
Yeah, that's good. But, I mean...
now they won't do anything for monopolies.
Right, I know. It's like where'd all the good days go? It's all gotten extinct.
Companies have pushed themselves into the ways of having so much money. Money will get them whatever they want.
Yes, I know. That's really a dang shame.
It's a battle of which company's got more money to force another company out of business or buy it up.
I know.
And I've been saying this for years too. These other companies that are going around gobbling up these smaller companies is not a good thing. It should be prevented.
I know. Right.
I mean, you know, even when AT&T bought HughesNet and DirecTV, they ruined it.
Yes, of course. That's why I don't watch TV that much anymore. It's because it's all gone to the dogs.
It really has. It's not, the quality of it's horrible.
I know.
And what's even worse is the commercials. They just put, for an hour show, there's 18 minutes of commercials.
Right.
That's nuts.
Right.
You maybe,
I mean, you get maybe like 40 minutes of a show, and then the rest of the time is commercials all over the damn place. It sucks. I hate to say it like that, but it really, TV is just junk. It really is.
I mean, you want to talk about attention deficit disorder. Mine really kicks in when these commercials come up because they run them. I got to hit the skip commercial button, and it's 30 seconds to skip. I got to hit it 8 times to get back to the show.
That's annoying.
Commercials over here on daytime TV are at minimum 8 minutes, and they happen every 15 minutes. It's not worth watching.
No, it's not, Hank. You're right.
No.
Nice. I'd rather watch YouTube or something else that doesn't, with an ad blocker, so that way I can enjoy my content, be done.
Not just that, the content on TV in general doesn't interest me anymore.
Yeah. If only TVs had ad blockers on them like computers do.
The closest thing that they got.
Go ahead.
The closest thing you can do to that is you can record the show and then skip through the ads.
Yeah, that's
like years ago, someone built technology that automatically detected the audio bump in the advertisement and could skip on the recording, which is amazing. And then it got integrated into the set-top boxes, and then everyone got bribed not to integrate it, and now it's gone.
That's a drag, man.
I remember something like that.
Yeah, it's I wish that, we had a way to permanently do it, but then the TV stations wouldn't make money.
Well, that's the problem. They went from making enough money to running a company and putting content out to putting content out that is the money, and they're taking it in.
Yeah. I mean, all these companies seem to want these days is money, money, money.
Was it ever different, though?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It's called Last Century.
Yeah.
Was that really different? Because all I remember is companies wanting to make money, otherwise they don't last very long.
Yeah.
Last Century, yeah, companies wanted to make money, but they had some kind of morals. Now they don't have any morals.
Well, some companies still do, but in the end, it's still money. So,
I mean, Last Century TV shows at the most maybe had 10 minutes in them for, maybe 15 minutes at tops for a 1-hour show of commercials. And usually it was at the top of the hour, the middle, and the end. Not a bunch of middles and an end.
the real problem for me is that YouTube is actually becoming exactly like daytime TV. It's literally imploding. It's having more... If I turn my ad block off, I'm shocked how many ads I get. And the kind of content they are promoting is exactly just normal, regular TV channels over here. All the normal independent creators are just not showing up anymore.
Well,
yeah.
That is just a dang shame.
What they want you to do is, I think they want you to buy YouTube Premium.
YouTube Premium. Ugh.
Yeah, well, my ad block doesn't really care about those alerts. It just completely nukes everything.
Luckily, I'm still able to use an ad block that will actually block all the ads so I can watch the content. But they're starting to actually, with Google, their browsers are going to make them so they can't use ad blockers.
Wow.
I'm really not too worried about it because I use the Brave browser, which is based on Chrome, and they already vouched not to implement that change. And if they have to implement it, they will work around it so it works anyway. So I'm covered.
That's good.
For how long?
Hey, Hank.
That's the issue. I mean, you
basically for like Brave has its own ad blocker built in. That's one, but they also committed not to implement those changes that would break them. They will just keep that as a legacy feature and just not scrap that from their code.
Yeah. Yeah, if Brave is the way of the future, then I guess it's time to use
Firefox is still the same way too. You can use all the ad blockers you can install and they work just fine.
Firefox I dislike for different reasons, mostly like political reasons, but especially the fact that they push bloatware and add-ons through user tracking programs and stuff. Like with Mr. Robot debacle, I don't trust them.
Yeah, that I can.
I use WaterFox for most of my viewing content anyways. Firefox, I only use it if I want to watch something that contains DRM.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically where we're at these days. Like, the bigger browsers have gone off the rails, so the forks of them have become the new norm. At least if you want a quality browser.
Yeah, we just had this discussion last night on Discord.
Yeah.
There is another browser out there that not much of us have heard about, but it exists and it works pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is the browser? I thought I downloaded it. No, I marked the. Oh boy.
Yeah. Brain fart.
What
No,
is it?
I saved something. It's called SlimJet.
Oh,
Slim.
I actually. This is going to sound really redundant, but and probably kind of stupid. But I'm using SlimJet on my Core 2 Quad on Windows XP. Now, here's the reason it's using that OS. It's because I tried Windows 7 on it. It was a slug. I tried, of all things, Vista. It was a slug. So I was going to put Linux on it, but I just didn't want to bother. So I felt, screw it. And so, I'm thinking of just biting the bullet and putting Linux on it because, I don't want to be on an unsecured, old as crap OS.
Like, if I search SlimJet, I get an extremely obscure, ancient, not updated Internet Explorer-based Windows browser. Is that the one you're talking about?
I haven't tried it yet, so I can't comment on it. We just talked about it last night as an alternative.
Yeah.
Because what it is based on, that's not going to be an alternative. It's like 2010 technology at this point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You do bring up a good point, Hank.
Yeah.
It is literally the Internet Explorer rendering engine, which has been abandoned by even Microsoft, and nobody likes to develop for. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Internet Explorer 10 still is a relevant Explorer. There's a lot of corporate enterprise stuff that runs on it. And that's why it's
yes,
still...
but not for very long, luckily, because Microsoft is integrating that as an Edge feature.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So they are working on something for sysadmins that if you set it up, and it's going to be in their Chromium-based browser, it will automatically revert to an Internet Explorer rendering agent for those domains that you specify. So you can have all the intranets in one browser, which is fantastic.
So, what distro are you currently using, Hank?
I was using OpenSUSE, and I enjoyed it. And then it imploded on itself on every machine and VM at once, and now I'm on Arch. At least I'm on Manjaro.
Funny enough, Hank, that's what I'm using.
I was really liking, I made my first ever distro review. The evening I posted that, the implosion started happening, and I was really annoyed by that. Because I was praising how well it was working, and then suddenly Yes started updating, but it didn't update the dependencies on half my machines. It started automatically removing Steam and Discord. My VMs didn't have Yast working anymore, and I was like, all right, your package repository are chaotic then, never mind.
Oh my god.
And I never liked Manjaro, so I thought, why not try Manjaro again? I never liked it, but I'm supposed to like it. Let's see if they fix their problems.
I tried
No,
it
they haven't fixed most of them.
I've tried Manjaro 4 times, and I really wanted to love it, but it would not love me back. Every time
That's basically my situation.
I'd get an update and reboot the machine the next day, and it'd be trashed. I'd have nothing. I'd get messages like Light DM is missing or some other obscure thing where it wouldn't work.
Yeah, that's basically my Suzy experience.
Yeah.
But I'm supposed to hate Manjaro because my touchpad driver was not really working that well. NVIDIA doesn't work properly out of the box, and things like Steam were broken. This new version, Steam is working out of the box, so they fixed that. My touchpad driver is still garbage out of the box, and NVIDIA's not working out of the box. However, that touchpad driver issue is now on every distro, because that's just the fact that the only one that works for me properly is deprecated. So I can't fault them for that anymore. The NVIDIA issue is easier to fix than it is to set up on Ubuntu, so they also score points there, and now it's rapidly becoming my favorite distro. If it implodes, it's gone, but if it doesn't implode, I'll probably stick with it.
Yeah. Well, ironically, like you said, the best distro that's worked for me so far is Arch, the one that I don't really care about. Well, I mean,
I'm supposed to like Arch. That's the thing. I'm
I
supposed to like it.
Arch, but it's just a pain in the neck to have to set up every dang time.
And that's why I won't bother with Arch.
Yeah,
I
reinstall my systems at least bi-weekly.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the main reason why I'm on Peppermint OS, because I don't want to deal with Arch right now.
Yeah, that I can understand. I mean, that's why I'm excited for Endeavor OS, because then you don't have to reinstall Arch over and over and over again every time it breaks or something.
How is Endeavor OS working? Is that like Manjaro, where it's just an image on the disk and it extracts it on the drive, or is it net-based?
Endeavor.
It's supposed to be net-based, but they were having problems with that. So they said it's supposed to be offline based right now, and you just get a snapshot of it. But it's supposed to be, but they're working on a fix to the net installer, so that way it's supposed to just download whatever you want on top of it.
Because what I want is very specific, but basically what Manjaro and OpenSUSE Tumbleweed should offer me.
Yeah.
I want a snapshot that I've tested and I have on my own drive that will always install the same way 100% of the time. I want a stable base with very rapid updates where I'm basically on the latest everything. So I can always refer to the one that I've tested and then I can just install the updates at will. That's what I want, and that's currently what Manjaro is giving me, alongside Namip Arch, I think, but Namip is really dodgy. Like, they use .tk domains for the repos, and I don't trust it at all.
Yeah.
And Arco and a bunch of others. And out of those, I liked the Manjaro setup out of the box the best, so that's why it's the winner for now.
I understand. Well, I mean, Manjaro is a good snapshot, yes. And I like their Architect installer, don't get me wrong. But the way it works, I don't care about it because, Manjaro is a great distro. Yes, I'll give it that. But the problem with it is that it comes with some stuff that I just don't like MS Office Online, things like that, which I know I can.
Yeah, same.
But, I don't like that it comes with those things that's part of home. And,
But then I get trade-offs, right? Like, would I rather install Arch manually every single time, or would I rather Pacman R, MS Office Online? What's easier?
Yes, I know that's an option.
Yeah, Arch being a rolling release makes it even hard to clone Zilla because if your CloneZilla copy goes more than a month out, the updates will kill it.
Right. That's kind of why.
Is it really that bad?
It can happen, yes. It can happen. I've seen it happen. For example, that's why I try not to leave. That's why I try not to leave my Hackman distro left alone too long, and I have to update it consistently consistently because, if I leave it not updated too long, then eventually it's gonna break, and I'll have to re-update it from scratch.
Because if that is true, that will mean that I will be tossing out Manjaro probably in a month because I keep going back to the same ISO because that's what I want. So if that's gonna be impossible, I'll just toss it out after a while.
Yeah, it's gonna probably be impossible, man, because if you're wanting to keep the same image, that's probably not gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just letting everybody know in about 15 minutes we are truly going to wrap up this time. The only reason why I stayed on a little longer is because I did not know Hank was coming. So for him, I'm staying on a bit longer. So 15 minutes, we'll be wrapping up the live stream.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I'd live stream gladly. It's just the fact that I got disabled from it due to my unbeknownst knowledge of not realizing that, I didn't realize that Apple blocks people from live streaming when they restream their Hangouts. I mean, their keynotes, I should say. I didn't realize that that's something they did.
Is there not another platform you can live stream to?
Yeah, Twitch, but they're not much. But you have to. But I don't really go on there very much, except for when I help co-host Star Wars Old Republic streams.
Because Twitch has a just chatting category these days. It would happily host a Linux show.
Yeah, it's not a Linux podcast I was doing. It was an Apple event thing that I was doing.
Yeah, which was a mistake.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately, because all I was trying to do was show it to people who couldn't watch it on Apple's website, and unfortunately, it was a legitimate enough reason for them to restrict me from live streaming. So, yeah.
Can you imagine someone like Red Hat doing that, just for comparisons?
Yeah, that's true.
I could see that. I could see it.
Unfortunately, I can't live stream anymore because of that. They completely disabled it on my channel.
So, Hank...
Because usually if it's a strike, it's like half a year.
I had too many strikes for them to undo it.
Yeah, Ben's trying to say he probably has 3 years.
Well, it's been over 6 months and they still haven't revoked it.
Can't you open a new account?
Yeah, but I have like almost 300 subscribers from a bunch of different people that I'm subscribed to. So yeah, it would be a pain in the neck for me to start all the heck over again. So,
speaking of streaming, actually, if you want to stream to multiple channels at the same time, it's actually pretty easy to build your own restream alternative on Linux with Nginx. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. Let me see. That is not what I want, you piece of crap. I'm trying to find my live events page.
So Hank, what are your thoughts about the direction Canonical is taking Ubuntu?
It's why I'm now on Arch. If that says enough.
It's now why I'm on Debian.
There's one thing I absolutely hate, and it's not the concept. I like the concept of them, but if there's anything I hate, it's snap packages. I absolutely despise them because if I remote desktop to my Windows PC or use something like Kodi Media Center or anything else, every single version shows up as its own loopback device. So I have like 30 useless loopback devices every time I want to scroll through my file list, and it's annoying.
Okay, hold on, guys. I think I'm allowed to live stream again.
That means you can Jitsi meet and have the conversation continue on your channel. We can even invite Ricky.
That would be nice. Yeah,
we can install Gentoo.
It's gonna be the dirty after show version of the show.
Another Gentoo meme going up the stream.
Since you got banned anyway, does that mean I can play copyrighted music on your channel?
I'm not gonna do that like an idiot. I learned my lesson this time. I'm not playing copyrighted content on YouTube again.
What if I do it? Do you get banned for it?
Oh God, hey, no.
Oh, don't do that to Ben.
I don't want to go a whole another 6 months.
I'm pretty sure the second time is indeed permanent, so no, I'll restrain myself.
Yeah, I don't want to get
The second time's probably a year.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, because I believe that YouTube uses a free strike system. The first offense, it's several months. Second offense, it's more months. And I think the third one is termination of the channel.
I don't want my channel.
What I thought
Already
is the first one is indeed restricted for like 6 months. The second one is no more live streaming forever, but you can still upload videos. And the third one is gone, but they may have changed that.
Yeah, they may have given me like a last chance offense.
You know, what gets me is you find a lot of YouTube videos that have like old MTV video content on them, music videos.
Yeah.
I wonder how they get away with that without getting a copyright strike.
It's probably monetized by the copyright holder, and at that point they don't care, they just want views.
Yeah.
But there's like so many of them.
Oh man.
Well, as long
Yeah,
as
but if they're monetized by MTV, they're not gonna care, as long as you click on it.
As long as
Yeah, these are uploaded by individuals.
As long as they're
Yeah, but
making
there's content ID.
Yeah.
So if you have an audio clip from a show like that, the robot comes along, claims all the revenue, instantly blocks it if they want as well, and then they just get money for it. So why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I got a copy of Genesis Land of Confusion that somebody obviously uploaded from a VSR.
I see.
VHS tape.
All right, hang on just a minute, please.
Yeah.
And it's still there.
That's weird.
It's possibly the fact that the VHS tape is being distorted enough to fool the algorithm on that one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I might just
What I personally would really want is something like PeerTube to actually go mainstream and be decentral enough to both function and survive. We really need an alternative to YouTube.
Yeah, we sure do.
We need more alternatives to Google products in general.
Yeah, that is true.
There's there's two Google products that I cannot get rid of, and that's YouTube and that's Android Google Play Store. I just cannot bypass those at all, no matter how hard I try.
Hey, it's not like iPhone is any better, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a choice, right? I cannot run the Android services from Google, and with MicroG it's reasonable, but I still get issues with like banking apps and verification checks and stuff like that. It just doesn't work right.
Yeah, unfortunately, until we find something better, it's just not going to happen.
Well, something better already exists. You can just have stock Android, but as long as the market doesn't support it, you're just completely locked in.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Well, can't you put apps on your phone from F-Droid?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but they use Google APIs. It's the APIs that are the problem.
Yeah, it's the
like if my banking account uses a Google tamper protection check and I don't have that tamper protection check, they will flag me as tampered and I won't get insured anymore.
No,
so I can't risk that.
Nor could anyone else, really.
I tend to do my
banking. I found a solution for because not having their app is also a possibility. But then it's like every game ever wants Google Play services is for the cloud backups, and they refuse to start if you don't have that. And that one is not open source yet.
I think when it comes to a phone, in my opinion, and I explained this not long ago. Say I bought a new phone right now. There should be like regulation rules or something in place to where I can do whatever I want to my phone. No strings attached, nothing. If I say, for example, the carrier gave me a choice. Do you want to install your own applications or do you want the basic application package with your phone? I would tell them, I want to install my own applications. I want to install my own operating system.
I don't think that's the solution.
you can go sideways and get an unlocked phone and remove the Google from it and install Copperhead or Lineage.
Yeah.
But then again, you're probably getting your apps from F-Droid.
Yeah.
The way OnePlus does it is the best way, in my opinion. Basically, they give you a phone with everything set up, and if you're not a tech user, there's no way to get past all the restrictions on that phone. It's impossible for you to do it accidentally. But if you're a power user, you just tap the build thing 5 times, you get a hidden option to unlock the bootloader, you unlock it, you can do whatever you want. That's the way they should all be, in my opinion. Very easy to unlock for people who do it, impossible to do it on accident.
Exactly, because the thing is, my phone is a Samsung Galaxy S9, and it has a Snapdragon processor in it, and it's completely locked down from me laying a finger on the bootloader. I can't touch it.
Meanwhile, I have a phone where I even have the factory software on my computer that even if this entire thing is bricked, I can flash a factory partition myself and just unlock it without any help desk, without any permission. Everything just works, and that's why I like OnePlus phones.
I don't have a. I had an LG Stylo 4 phone at one point, and it wasn't rootable. I was like, okay, I'm done with this phone, and I went right back to iPhone.
Basically, if you buy a new phone, go to XDA developers first, check if there's an active custom ROM community. If yes, you're golden. If no, buy something else.
Yeah.
That's the way to get a good phone these days.
I also have the Galaxy S7 Edge here, but it's the Snapdragon model, and I couldn't get this thing to root worth a damn, and I eventually ended up killing the phone over trying to do it.
There might be unbrick tools on XDA to get it back to life again.
Yeah, but the problem is when I plug it in, it doesn't even turn on.
That doesn't have to be a problem. Snapdragons have something called download mode where you talk directly to the chipset. If your entire partition layout is bricked and you have a download mode unbrick tool, then you can literally just recover the entire thing. It's what I've done to my phone many times.
Yeah, I just don't know how to do that.
All right,
XDA
people.
developers, unbrick guide, go ahead. You have the attention span to do it, I bet.
I'll just take a look for it. Yeah.
All right. All right, we got about 3 minutes and we'll wrap it up. Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming. If you want to see more live streams just like this, then smash that like button and support my channel. Thank you. Also, check out each one of these individuals that are in here with me. Yeah. And not only that, once again, big shout out to both Total OS Today and Stephanie Forian for that amazing concert last night. Support Stephanie. Check out her music. Wonderful singer.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
Yes, it was. You're right, guys. I didn't stick around for too long because I had other junk going on, but, you know, I much enjoy catching her when I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I'm praying to the Lord that I can revive this.
You're going to try and revive the phone again, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let me see if it can help you a little bit with that. Galaxy S7 you said, right?
The S7 Edge, the Sprint model, yes. Oh my word, it has a lightning bolt on the front of it.
So, if you check the chat in the Jitsi thing.
I'll type the model number in for you. Give me a minute. Okay.
That's the basic guide how to do it. I'm not sure if that is possible in yours. That's the S7 Edge, actually. I'm not sure if you have the Edge.
Yeah, that's what mine is, yes. Yeah, that's what mine is.
This guide might actually flash it to the normal firmware, actually. I'm just not sure if it's compatible with the Sprint version.
Yeah, mine is the SM. Actually, I'll just type it in the chat, the model number. That's the model number off the phone. It's running Android 8 right now, and the only The only whatchamacallit, the only ROMs that I found for it that are hackable are from Android 6 to Android 7. I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
But you don't have an unlocked bootloader on that thing?
Not at the moment, no, because I've been trying to get it on there and it isn't working. And I'm like, what?
Because that's usually where you start. You unlock it first and then you go rooting.
Yeah, I tried to do that.
The other way around is just a brick ask. That's gonna really screw you over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just.
What I understand, not all phones are unlockable.
Yeah, right now, Hank.
That's true. That's why you don't buy those phones.
Yeah, it says recovery booting right now on the phone.
Yep.
Like I gave my dad a very nice Nokia 6.1 that gets Google updates, but good luck unlocking that thing. It's barely possible.
All right.
It says recovery mode booting right now is what it says.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, people. It's 1:30. I gotta get going. I got business to take care of my family. I hope you enjoy having these guys and me here discussing a whole bunch of topics and stuff. But until next time, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying, see you all later.
All right.
Have a good
All
afternoon.
right, goodbye, Yugi.
Have a good
I might
afternoon,
be
everyone.
gentlemen.
on after this one.
Goodbye, everyone.